Delahunty.
Tēnā koe, Mr. Speaker.
Order.
Tēnā koutou te
Order.
whare.
I've called Catherine Delahunty.
Tēnā koe, Mr. Speaker. Tēnā koutou te whare. My question is to the Minister of Energy and Resources. Why is he conducting an aerial survey for minerals within a World Heritage Area?
The Honourable Stephen Joyce.
Mr. Speaker, on behalf of the Minister of Energy and Resources, while I won't personally be conducting the aeromagnetic survey, I am advised that the data will be used for geological mapping, forestry, agriculture and horticulture, engineering and construction investigations, digital elevation modelling and geological hazard assessment. The Alpine Fault, of course, the member may note, runs right through the area, and in light of the Canterbury earthquakes, it's hoped the information will give us a better understanding of the tectonics in that area. I'd note again for the member of the government's previous comments that there would be no tender for permits for Schedule 4 or World Heritage areas.
Catherine Delahunty.
A supplementary. Is he saying no information about mineral potential is being collected by his government in the Southwestland World Heritage Area?
The Honourable Stephen Joyce.
Well, Mr. Speaker, on behalf of the Minister, a whole range of information is being collected. I'm explaining to the member why the aeromagnetic survey is actually going on in that basis, and I've said to the member, and will repeat for her benefit, that there will be no tender for permits for Schedule 4 or World Heritage areas.
Point of order, Mr. Speaker.
Point of order, Catherine Delahunty.
Is he saying no information about mineral potential has been collected? I didn't answer that bit.
No, I accept the member's point. The question actually asked whether information on mineral potential would be collected, and it didn't repeat the primary, didn't ask why the survey is being done. It actually asked that specific question, and it's not unreasonable for the member to expect an answer to that. The Honourable Stephen Joyce.
Well, Mr. Speaker, I thought I did at the outset said that some of that information will be collected alongside all the other information, but again I noted for the member that the government's previous comments that there will be no tender for permits for Schedule 4 or World Heritage areas.
I thank the Minister. Catherine Delahunty.
Supplementary. If he is looking but not planning to touch our World Heritage areas, why is he spending taxpayer money on the minerals part of the survey within one?
The Honourable Stephen Joyce.
Mr. Speaker, on behalf of the Minister, at the risk of repeating the answer to the primary question for the member, I'm advised that the data is used for geological mapping, forestry, agriculture and horticulture, engineering and construction investigations, digital elevation modelling and geological hazard assessment. I presume that's why we're spending the money.
Catherine Delahunty.
Supplementary. Will he give 100% guarantee that our World Heritage areas will not be mined?
The Honourable Stephen Joyce.
Mr. Speaker, on behalf of the Minister of Energy and Resources, I answer that question to the affirmative in both the first primary answer and the first supplementary.
Catherine Delahunty.
Supplementary. If he can guarantee that no mining will take place in World Heritage areas, will the government place the entirety of our World Heritage areas under the legal protection of Schedule 4?
So far as the Minister is responsible for that issue, the Honourable Stephen Joyce.
On behalf of the Minister of Energy and Resources, that would be a question the member has to put down to the Minister for Conservation.
Question. I beg your pardon, the Honourable Ruth. Is this a point of order? Gareth Hughes.
Mr. Speaker, I know it's uncommon to table legislation, but in fact the Minister of Energy has concurrence powers with the Minister of Conservation.
But does the Honourable David Park wish to speak to that point of order?
So my understanding is that this is done by way of an amendment to the Crown Minerals Act, which has a schedule to it, which is the responsibility of the Minister of Energy.
Well, the Speaker's in a dilemma here because while the Speaker can ask ministers to answer questions, I cannot debate with ministers what issues they're responsible for. Only the Minister can have that knowledge. The Honourable Stephen Joyce, if there's any further he
Mr. Speaker,
add,
on behalf of the Minister of Energy and Resources, to clarify it for the members, they don't see that the matter actually comes up because the government has made the commitment not to be mining in those areas.
Point of order, Catherine Delahunty.
Mr. Speaker, my understanding is we're discussing the Minister's responsibility for placing it under Schedule 4, which is the responsibility under the Crown Minerals Act of the Minister of Energy and Resources.
Well, I thought I heard the... Oh, forgive me, I'll let the member repeat her question to avoid any doubt on the question. I apologise for taking the House's time for this. I blame myself for this situation. Catherine Delahunty.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. If he can guarantee that no mining will take place in World Heritage areas, will the government place the entirety of our World Heritage areas under the legal protection of Schedule 4?
The Honourable Stephen Joyce.
Mr Speaker, on behalf of the Minister of Energy and Resources, in light of the government's commitments, I don't think that will be necessary.
The Honourable Ruth Dyson.
Will he consult with the Minister of Conservation in regard to any proposals to mine on any conservation land, or does he agree with her description of her role as only being responsible for looking for things, not doing things?
The Honourable Stephen Joyce.
On behalf of the Minister of Energy and Resources, the government takes a collective approach on these matters, and of course I would consult with the Minister of Conservation if there was such a matter to discuss.
Question. Catherine Delahunty.
So, is he telling New Zealanders that we have to rely on his word rather than on legal protection to make sure that the minerals survey he is conducting in a World Heritage area won't be used for mining?
The Honourable Stephen Joyce.
Mr Speaker, on behalf of the Minister of Energy and Resources, yes.
Question number 3, Maggie Barry.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. My question